Dividing fractions is something that students usually remember pretty well, and it's because there's a saying that goes along with it. For dividing fractions, you need to keep, change, flip. And that's what you need to remember throughout the entire thing here, is to keep, change, flip. What that means is the first fraction, you keep it, 1/8. This only works for division, by the way. So keep it, change it, we're going to change it, you always change it to multiplication, and the last one is flip. So what that means is you take the reciprocal, and reciprocal is where you have the denominator then goes to the numerator, and the numerator then goes to the denominator, so you flip it. And then we work with multiplying fractions. Multiplying fractions, remember, you just multiply straight across. So it's 1 times 3 over 8 times 1, which is 3 over 8. Next one is same thing, except first you have to make that whole number, that integer, into a fraction. And to make this integer into a fraction, you just put it over 1, because -3 divided by 1 is still -3, so we didn't change the value of it at all there. So here's our fraction, so we keep -3 over 1, change to multiplication, and flip. Now, it doesn't matter if you take the negative to the bottom or you put the keep the negative on the top, as long as you flip it. I'm going to just keep it with the 6, just so we don't get confused here. And from here, we multiply. And remember your multiplication rules. You can simplify first if you want to. So here, I could make this a -1, I divided by 3, and this one a -2, I divided by 3. So now when I multiply across, I have -1 times 7 over 1 times -2. And I would get -7 over -2, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so we could write it as 7 over 2, or 2 goes into 7 3 times, which is 6, with 1 left over out of 2. Either one of those could be our answer. The last one here. Again, same thing, but with a mixed number, you have to change that mixed number into an improper fraction first. When you do that, don't forget, we're not looking at the negative. We're just going to tack that on at the end. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 1 is 26. Now I'll tack that negative on. Don't forget about it out front there. Keep it over the same denominator. And so here we keep this, change, and flip. Now, if you have two mixed numbers, I would suggest you rewriting out the entire problem before you do your keep, change, flip. That's too many steps to do all at once, and it's going to get very confusing for you. And when we multiply this, first of all, you can simplify. Divide by 2 is 1. Divide -26 by 2 would be -13. So we would have -13 times 3 over 5 times 1. And when you do this, we can use our chart. 13 times 3 is 39. And so it's going to be a -39, because a negative times a positive is a negative, over 5. And we can leave it as -39 over 5 because that is simplified as an improper fraction. Or we can say, okay, 5 goes into 39 7 times, so -7, and 5 times 7 is 35. So 35 to 39, there's 4 left over out of 5. So the main thing you need to remember when you're dividing fractions is to keep, change, flip, and then it's just like multiplication.